you decided to keep the horses.
Yeah, what do you think? I like it.
Let's do it. I think we do it.
Listen, I'm not saying, I just like, I had the idea a while ago to decorate. And then I was like, well, I guess we're doing horses. Cause they were just back there. So, that's kind of how that went.
I promise we're done talking about horses. So ponies.
So we're in our new studio here, Studio Z, as I coined it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
After yourself.
That's a good idea.
No, just Z is the best letter in the alphabet, so I just chose that.
Gotcha,
That's all.
gotcha.
That's the only reason. So, yeah. How you guys feeling about this?
I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah.
One of my buttons are undone. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, well, we need to button that up there just for safety.
We're good now.
We don't need to get sued over this.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, I mean, I do have a confession, though.
Okay.
This week, I need to tell you something that happened.
Tell me.
Does there need to be a lawyer present?
There doesn't.
Okay,
No.
all right.
It only affects me, but it is special. So I was in the bathroom.
Ooh.
I think there needs to be a lawyer present.
Where every good story starts.
True.
Now I was actually working in a client's bathroom painting. Okay. So, and I was listening to a spoken word. Okay. It was kind of an emotional thing. So I am there, paint in hand,
I can see where this is
paintbrush in hand, and I am bawling my eyes out at a client's house. Tears are rolling down my eyes. I look at the mirror and my eyes are bright red. Obviously, I'm not like making audible noise, but I'm very much keeping it back so I don't. And I'm in the client's house.
Were there people in the house?
Yes, but they weren't coming in the bathroom. And I was, yeah.
Wow.
So I did feel like I needed to confess that on the podcast.
I'm glad that you got that off your chest because you know what? That's what confession is all about. You do something and then never do it again. And I think that's what we're learning today, right? Or you really, really try not to in this case, Joe. So we're gonna pray for you.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, we're gonna get better because that's
Zach, it's called having emotion.
a what?
It's called having emotion.
A what?
A sensitive heart.
Yeah. Well, that's a good
Emotions
story.
are fleeting. I'm just kidding. I
Do you
cry.
have-
I cry often.
Yeah, let's
honestly.
hear your
Not-
crying
okay.
story, Sam.
When I say often, I'm just saying if there's something emotional, just like Joe, if there's something emotional that I can connect with on a spiritual level or relation level, then
Relational.
relational level.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you. Then that makes me tear up a little, or at least get to the point where I want to cry, but I can't because I'm like, oh, if I could cry, I'd make this scene so much cooler. But then I'm just like, I just can't bring the tears up. I just feel sad, but I'm like, man, in this moment, I just imagine if there was a camera on me, I'm like, this would be so cool. And like a Dark Night of the Soul part of a movie when he's like, when the main character is battling his demons and then he just starts bawling while he's listening to like the motivational sermon.
He always thinks about when the camera's on him.
It's
Yeah.
really narcissistic.
Yeah, I was
but,
gonna say that's called classic narcissism, my friend. And,
but it makes for great method acting.
you are not in the Truman Show. It turns out. So
I do have to say, is probably the first time in over a year I've cried.
Wow.
So it is an unusual thing.
was the other time when the big Whopper left Burger King?
Pretty much.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
And they came in with the little Whopper instead of the big Whopper. Is that what it was? Because
Yeah.
I
Sheer
didn't cry, but
disappointment.
yeah, disappointment.
Why would they do that? Are you being serious?
No, I have no idea.
I feel like they'd come in with like the X3X Whopper or something.
The whole cow Whopper.
It's the whole cow.
On a better note, or not a better, I mean, like, I don't mean to talk to you about your crying. I meant, what's going on this week, Sam?
Did you cry this week? Is
Yeah,
what you wanna
no,
know?
I didn't.
That was
Quite
my
the opposite, actually. I got baptized last Sunday. So
I cried during the baptism.
Yeah, that would be a good time. I feel like that'd be an okay
You
time.
did?
Yeah. I didn't. I'm
No, he
sorry.
didn't.
dang it, Joe, you're so mean. Okay.
Sam, why did you get baptized? What was going on?
So basically, I had gotten baptized before when I turned 13.
Was that with sprinkling?
No, it was
Okay.
not. It was
Did
full
you
immersion.
Did you just run through a sprinkler? It's like, all right, that counted.
I baptized myself in the name of the.
Anyways,
We're gonna have a sacrilegious alarm that goes off every once in a while, just for the listeners, because we might hit that.
Warning.
Beep boop beep boop. Anyways, Sam, continue.
So basically, I had already gotten baptized once, and I was like, I didn't really understand why I did it. I mean, I was a Christian. I became a Christian at 12 years old, but I didn't understand why I was doing it. Like, I did it because, well, I'm basically everyone else in my family's baptized. I probably should get baptized. I've been a Christian for a little over a year. Seems like the next step. But I didn't really know what it meant, and that it was a first act of obedience to Christ, in submission to Christ, because I did not submit to Christ until probably about 2 years after I got baptized for the first time.
Okay.
No, am I any better? Kind of, but I'm to the point where I've submitted. So then that's like, okay, in response to what God did in my life, then I'm going to be baptized, where it actually means something. That was the first reason. Second reason was so then I could publicly express my faith to my family, because that's what means most to me, is being able to share my faith with the people I'm closest with. And it's weird because I've always had a aversion to doing that, talking about faith with my siblings, with you guys. And I think this podcast is a great way to break that barrier.
We're breaking the ice here.
We are breaking the ice,
folks.
So that's why I got baptized, and that's what I did this week, man. Oh, and a crap ton of school, which I won't get into, but
I am curious. So is because you said you were originally baptized at 13. Do you think it was just you weren't a part of it? Was your development as a person? Do you think like that was a part of it? Of like just like now that you're 16 now?
yes, I am 16.
So just like grow
16 and a half as of today, actually.
Oh, happy half.
Today's my half
What?
birthday. Yeah.
No way.
Today's October 10th, right?
Thought I saw an extra whisker.
Oh, you're right. I shaved, guys.
I was just wondering if you thought it had something to do with just you growing as a person. You're like, you know what?
So it did.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you off, but it did, but in the sense of nothing that I did. It was all Jesus through me. And I'm doing this as a thank you in response to being like, hey, I didn't do any of this. Thank you for bringing me to the place of submission, because before I submitted, I didn't think I was a Christian. I thought I lost my salvation, even though I knew up in my head that it was by grace through faith alone without works. I still felt like, because I was sinning so much and I felt like a horrible person, I thought I would go to hell if I died that day. I thought I was going to go to hell. And it just, nothing I did. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but it kind of just hit me almost. And it took one act of small submission towards something that happened with my parents, and just like admitting to something, and then that kind of
broke the ice.
Broke. I broke, basically.
Oh, okay.
Just broke from my agenda and what I wanted, and now I'm just like, well, okay, now I'm submitted to Christ.
It's almost like you did submit originally, but now it's like, you know what? I'm developing as even more of a person, and I'm even submitting, like I'm realizing even more about myself. I'm even submitting all of that I'm realizing. Like that, like I'm not saying that it was it, but that's also part of it, right? It's like, there's this too. I'm submitting that. Like,
Submitting like every part of my life, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I feel like you just got to a point where like maybe you submitted at like a little bit, but you're like, well, no, I'm still doing my own thing. I still want this selfish desire, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So it definitely started with the first act of submission. That first breaking of the ice was the act of basically submitting my agenda and what I wanted. And I changed my thinking. When I say I changed my thinking, it was God that changed my thinking. I don't know how, but he did. And now I look mostly, now I'm not perfect because no one is, but generally,
Amen. You wouldn't
when I
believe
look at
what
a
I did
situation
this week.
You cried. I know.
Did you
It's
cry in a
unforgivable
bathroom?
situation.
Did you
Blaspheming
cry
of the Holy Spirit and crying in a bathroom. That's. I bumped the table, sir.
I'm so sorry, didn't.
That was funny. But no, I lost my train of thought. So, I feel like I talked enough.
Yeah.
So,
Sam, on the part of me and Zach, we would like to say,
Welcome to being a Buddhist.
oh,
hey,
It's official.
we were not baptized into
no
Buddhism.
mistake. Is that what you do? No mistake.
I have no idea.
Dude, I don't know.
I haven't been around a lot of fat people before.
Whoa. What?
First
Well, because the Buddhist, the big
First
chubby
time, huh?
belly.
I don't think is that what that is?
yeah.
I think you're thinking of like sumo wrestlers.
No,
Is that
it's
what you're-
Buddhist.
The
It's like
statue.
the Buddha.
The statue.
He's like, it's a
Is he
fat dude.
fat?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's really
wow.
fat.
He's bald and he has like earrings or something.
That's so
Kinda gay.
crazy.
Zach,
Yes.
have you been doing any Buddhist worship this week?
Mostly Muslim. I feel like
Oh
I
my
just-
gosh.
Anyways, my week, I went hiking
Where did you go hiking?
up in the White Mountains, up in New Hampshire.
Sam, that was.
What happened?
I think we might have to cut that. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I mean, you're gonna get canceled.
Zach.
Racism? Is that what it's going? Oh my gracious!
Oh my goodness.
I
As
thought-
soon as you said that, I was like, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
I mean, how immature are my brothers? I'm sorry. I'm just here spilling my heart. This kid's over here spilling his heart for 12 minutes, and I just have to listen to him like I did care. But I mean,
wow.
I just mean like, and then I say one thing, and they jump on me. They are actually called the White Mountains.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'll say White. So
That's the most southernly racist thing I've ever heard in my entire life. White Mountains.
That's actually very funny.
up the White Mountains a while ago. White Mountains.
So we're up in the White Mountains,
Okay.
and hiking 9 miles. So it was good. It was fun, and I think the main thing I learned, if I'm going to make it a little more interesting and not just we hiked 5 miles up a big mountain and it was rocky and cloudy and cool and awesome, but on top of that, I think what I've kind of learned in a sense is just like how strong, like how strong we are as people, and we're stronger than we think we are. Because like I'll do these things and I'll be like, I couldn't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. Generally, physically speaking, but it's just kind of cool when you achieve these goals and go, wow, I just hiked 5,000 feet in the air. That's not something I've ever done before. Obviously, Everest is a lot more than that, and I'm not going to
Wow,
be doing Everest anytime soon. But the idea is that like I wouldn't have thought I could have done that or done just in general and other things as well. So that's I think a really cool thing is that we're stronger than we think we are, and so putting your mind to something, because like I trained for it and stuff, it's pretty cool. I highly recommend it. Setting goals and then achieving them. Just
Join
on
Zach
more of
next
a-
year at the White Mountains. He will be leading a tour all the way up to the top.
The White Mountains. And I'll say, welcome to the White Mountain range where there's white animals and white snowcaps, and welcome to the White Mountains.
Okay.
I'll say that a lot.
that I have to say that's pretty inspirational.
Yeah,
I do have a question. Did you feel quite accomplished when you had finished, like you had completed that goal?
Yes. That's what I was saying. Like setting a goal and then completing it is one of the better feelings you're going to have, especially when the bigger the goal is.
Yeah.
Then it's a pretty great feeling. Now, I will say it did not come without its bumps and bruises. I did literally fall off a rock and like by the providence
Tumbled
of
down a
the
waterfall.
providence of the Lord, not died, because I slid down this ginormous wet rock because it was wet, and wet rocks are slippery. I don't know if you knew that. So slide down that, and then there was like a 4 to 5 foot drop off the other rock, the bottom of the rock onto another rock. So it was it happened so fast, and I didn't die though. I hopped up and was like, whoa, that was insane. And then we got moving.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, so it does come with its bumps and bruises. I mean, that's maybe a metaphor for life. It's like you're climbing up the mountain, and granted, this was on the way down the mountain, which is sometimes harder in my opinion, just because it's you got gravity pushing you and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes you slip and fall and land, slide down a rock and land on your butt. It's just,
And you jump right back
and
up.
you jump right back
that
up
a
and say,
metaphor?
"Wow, that hurt, but that was also awesome." because you know what? I'm still standing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I'm still standing.
Zach's coming with the truth.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to copyright this.
That's true.
I don't even know
if
what
it's.
that's
I think
from.
it's under 7 seconds, so I think
Oh, okay.
you have another 2 seconds. By the way,
I'm still standing.
Cut.
you have one more. Yep, that's good.
Okay.
What is that even from?
No idea.
It's a song. I don't.
Probably
It's
Disney.
an old song.
Bella would know. Sorry, I said the D word.
That is.
Disney. Yes, that's.
Watch your mouth.
That's a whole nother topic, though. That is really cool.
Yeah, Joseph, tell me about your week. Or did you have a question? Did you want to ask me a question?
No,
Or do you
no. My week.
I guess
mean,
you talked about your crying thing. That was
crying.
kind of your funny anecdote.
That was the kind of different.
That was the highlight of his week.
Oh,
Welcome to
man.
Life on the Homestead, you guys.
No, oh, wow.
That was really mean. I'm sorry.
It's
No, that's
not.
funny.
I had a very busy week, but that was the more unique thing that had happened.
It wasn't like I painted a wall, or something.
Yeah.
Or,
What was the
you
spoken
know,
word about?
I cleaned up a poop.
About a little girl dying.
Oh.
Yeah. If you guys want to watch it, I think it's called like Dear Ava or By
Oh my
Ava.
gosh. Did Clayton Jennings?
Yeah.
That was sad.
Yeah.
That was sad. She died of cancer.
Okay.
That was
So
sad.
Hunter, this went on a sad note.
Yes, it did.
I did have a thought though.
Guys, I
Uh,
can't hold it.
This podcast, we still are trying to figure.
Keep talking, Joe.
Oh wow,
Just-
my eyes are
just
actually
let
watering. Wow, I'm really good at this
Oh.
acting thing.
Oh my gracious! This is not. This is
Well,
not.
cameras are on. Get it going.
Guys, this is not the right moment.
I was thinking about we've been doing this podcast, and I'm just like, oh, like we still haven't really finalized a name yet. I feel like so it's. I came up with one, and then my darling wife came up with another. Something trifecta or something trio. Just trying to incorporate the three of us.
Or something Italian.
The trifecta. Something has to rhyme after. Like trifecta is such a weird word.
Finestra. Three brothers.
The white
That's
trifecta.
the Italian for three brothers. The white trifecta.
Hot trifecta.
The white trifecta. It's spelled W-H-A-T.
That would actually
Hot trifecta.
that would actually be bad or like
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
Out of context, that's terrible. But watch the beginning of the episode if you skipped ahead, and it'll make sense. Okay, so that's
like save the trio.
save the trio. What?
It's stupid.
I do like the word trifecta. I think that's a great word.
Or Tre Finestra. Three brothers in
Yeah,
Italian.
you mentioned that.
I know. No one acknowledged me.
Sorry.
Now I'm in a dark night of soul, and now's the time to be crying. Come on.
Sam, we were trying to give you a chance to not have to roast you for your stupid Italian word.
You know what?
But I do no.
Can you roll your R's?
Here's what I'll say is I do like the idea of doing an Italian word. So if we find something that's very like something trifecta, like I don't know, like a spaghetti trifecta. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
Spaghetti's not an Italian
we
word.
That's
are-
not Italian?
No.
So we're not just picking a
That's just
random
Italian
nationality.
food.
We are like 50% Italian.
Yes,
We're not
yes.
like, hey, we're gonna do a Irish. Actually, I guess we're a little
we are-
Irish.
we are
What was-
Irish, too.
what
We're
would be a
Italian
random?
nationalists.
We're Italian, Irish, and
German. German.
So we're a mutt. And
Yeah.
moving on.
Abendhoven, Schlavenhoven.
Do you even know what you just said?
No.
That's very dangerous. There's not going to be subtitles, I hope, on this video. Be like, I killed a cat for breakfast.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Wow.
Although I wish I was Russian. I could do the Russians very well.
Yeah, that's
I will break you.
Isn't that like the Rocky?
No, it's the
No, that's-
Rocky's the Italian stallion. No, it's
No.
that's
He fought
guy
a
who-
Russian guy though.
Yeah, the big white dude with the square head.
Well, that's SpongeBob.
No, Ivan Drago.
No,
What's the?
Ivan Drago.
Ivan.
He's the guy who killed Rocky's friend in the boxing match. Remember?
This episode, we keep going dark.
killed
life, man.
Creed is a
Creed. Yes, Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. That's what it was. Yeah. So
No, wait, was it? I forget his first name.
Apollo, yeah, Apollo, and then Adonis Creed is his
Apollo?
son. Yeah.
Wasn't that a space mission? Apollo Creed.
Apollo. So it's Apollo 13. There's a lot of Apollos, I think. There's a apologist.
A ball in your business.
There's a pollen that the bees like.
Okay, so
there's
I will take the conversation from here.
yeah, let's do that.
A little weird where we were going. And this is a wonderful transition. You ready for this transition,
boy.
everyone?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. I need to read it.
Buckle up, folks. Here we go. Where the
Zach.
roller coaster ride is about to start. Keep your hands and feet.
Do you believe in God? One or just a word, just one word answer.
In the ride at all times and enjoy the ride. Sorry, now I'm ready.
Do you believe in God, Zach? One answer.
Can it be a sentence?
No.
Or
I
like,
said
you
one answer.
You said one answer. You mean one word?
I mean one word.
Uh,
Okay, so Sam.
Your eternal security lays on this question right now, so you better watch your words.
Is it bad that I was trying to think of a funny thing to say, and then it looked really bad? Yes, I was trying to I was gonna do it like I said with the white, like yeah, or something. And then
Well, you did it now.
It's
Yeah.
It's not
Does that
bad.
work?
I
All
was
right,
I
thank
was
you.
just trying to get to a point. Sam,
Yes.
do you believe in God?
I do.
Which I
Yes,
guess we
I said
kind
two words.
Oh, I do. That breaks the rules.
Oof.
He's going to hell. Banish him.
So do I. And I just wanted to say that to bring up, I looked up the stat. Now, this is a 2017 stat, but it says 79% of people in America believe in God. Isn't that?
That God exists.
That God exists.
Yeah.
or a God or some sort of God or gods.
There
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
some
A deity.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's some deity. 79%. Now this was 4 years ago, and so it could have gone down. So, but even, I mean, it's over 50% of people in America. And I thought that was like, you know what? It's cool. I'm glad that people are not just saying like blind to the fact of how beautiful, because you go outside, you look at our earth and you travel anywhere, you realize this is incredible. There's no way meteors came together and salt water made the earth, kind of thing. So
Hey,
I'm
not meteors.
Dude,
hey,
learn about the Big Bang.
This guy knows where it's at. He's such a Christian that he doesn't even know the other side.
that doesn't seem
No,
good. That
meteors
seemed
did not come
ignorant.
together and form life. It was two chemicals that happened to just spontaneously explode and then create life.
Okay, so let's say let's say 50% of America actually believe there is a God, that some deity created this beautiful earth, which gives me some hope for the world, America. I'm glad it's not just like 10% of people.
Was this just in America or the world? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it was America.
It was America.
I think this is where that stat came from.
So that's interesting. Before you get into it, I just think that's interesting that evolution is like what's taught in schools, which is doesn't that counter the idea of God?
Yes.
Like
Atheism, basically.
like those two are at being a deist versus believing in evolution. I feel like you can't be both of them. So that's interesting that's what's taught in schools, even though according to that, significantly more people believe that there is a God. Therefore, there is some sort of intelligent design.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we have to draw a line in the sand here. Are we talking about believing in God or are we talking about being a Christian? Because that's something that we don't want people to get confused on.
Yeah, that's where
because there is a huge difference.
Believing in a God. Because
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean-
that's why I was saying deist, because that doesn't
Okay,
that mean
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're right.
Because Theo is a great name. And continue.
so Zach's good name is for some
Theo and Dio.
Anyways,
Which one do I
Deo,
like better?
that's actually Latin word for God.
Oh, whoa.
Sam's pulling out his.
So-
You've been doing all the schoolwork. You're like, finally, I can apply.
Seriously, this is fun, guys.
So I'm gonna name one Theo, Dio, and Deo. And
And you will be so confused. You'll be like, Theo, Dan said Theo. Shucks.
yeah, that's what I would say. Shucks.
Anyways, so let's just say that they believe in a God. Okay, 50%. We'll be
Yep.
very conservative. We'll just say half.
Yep.
Half of Americans believe there is a God of some sort. There is a creator behind the intelligent design that we see.
He dropped his pen. Just to make the point. Even
Yes.
better.
Like,
Drop the mic.
Wait. Say the line you said again. Just
forgot.
Okay. All right.
I'm stumbling, guys.
No, keep going.
No, so I
Oh,
did want.
never mind.
No, I
Joe's
lost
gonna
my train.
carry it.
I,
Okay.
I can't think.
It was a good
You
thought, I'm
go.
sure.
Right? No, I know what I was going to say. All I was going to say is that even the demons believe in God and the gospel. They believe that it happened because, they're angelic beings.
They
Right.
believe in the God, though, which
they
is
believe
different.
they know he
Yes.
exists. So
That is actually different. Than
But
what we
it
were
still
saying. But
is.
it's yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like
believe in
because
the sense that we know it's true.
yeah. Because like we're just saying. All right, I think we've talked about this enough. Let's move on here.
Belief in intelligent design.
I just wanted to bring up
like you said.
Sure.
Zach.
I just want to bring up a few points just to kind of like lay the base. Do either of you know how many like original copies of the Gospels were like archaeologists found? Like got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all recording Jesus's life.
Wasn't it over 400 or something?
Okay, so well, pick a number. I just want to see.
400.
Okay, Zach.
What was the one on the back of the Declaration of Independence?
The map to the buried treasure.
That's that one. What was that one?
National treasure.
That's the one.
That's a movie.
I may have misunderstood the question.
How many of the gospels have been
they
found
did
by
two of those movies.
Was that part of the treasure? I don't remember.
No,
What do you mean?
they did not find the gospels.
That was
That
Oh
would've been-
yeah. They found John returns. They didn't add it. John returned.
I don't know if you're being ridiculous. I don't remember. It's been so. I think.
Yes, I'm being ridiculous.
Okay, I have no idea. Do you think some Hollywood movie will actually put in? Well, actually, they do make a lot of movies about Jesus.
That's actually a different topic. We could talk about Christian
Yeah.
movies and stuff. That's a very interesting. We should write that down. Actually.
Guys, I saw a meme that.
Oh boy.
Dang it. Oh, no, what have I done? It won't be funny if you don't see it. So, but now I already said that I saw a meme, so now you guys are gonna want to know. I'll explain it. Anyways, there are two pictures. Okay, one at the top is of Toy Story where Woody is talking to Buzz Lightyear. Okay, and the caption is, "Hey Buzz, hey Buzz, look over there. It's an accurate Bible film." And the second picture, Buzz has his head turned like this to like look for where Woody is pointing, and Woody's just laughing. And I thought it was so funny. It's an accurate Bible movie. Ha!
There's nothing like describing a meme on a podcast. I mean, that is.
I had to, guys. It was so perfect.
Wow.
All right, Joe. Let's get back to the topic.
It's actually over 5,000.
And what was the original question again? Just say,
How many original copies were archaeologists found of the Gospels? Sam said 400.
I did say 400.
So is that of each like individual one, or all of them combined?
Combined.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
yeah,
5,000.
5,000. And to put in
5K?
put in what's it called? Put in
Context?
Scope. Yes, context. Thank you. Like let's see. So the Aristotle, like his work, there's like a handful of original copies of his work.
Really?
And then like I think it's like Homer's Gilead.
Odyssey.
Is that what?
Homer's Odyssey.
Another one. There was like 500 of those. So the Bible, the amount of original copies is like
More than any other
Exponential.
by a significant amount. Is that?
I don't know. I don't know if I can claim more than any other.
Oh, okay.
But it blows
I
a
feel
lot
like it
of
is.
them.
I feel like I've heard that, but yeah.
It blows a lot of them out of the water. And so I just want to say, okay, so if we're just coming to this, like to the Bible and saying, is this Bible? There's some really great historical evidence that this Bible wasn't just made up. So there's something to it. Now, what do we think that it's just a story, or do we think that it's depicting true history? And I just wanted to point out the point of, we're talking about like 4 Gospels. All 4 Gospels tell the same story, but in a key thing that I thought was pretty cool, that's actually mentioned in, I think, like God's Not Dead, that movie. It's telling the same story, but there are details that are left out, and details in some that are left out, and maybe like it's a little different in some cases from John to Matthew. It's a little different, but the same story is exactly the same.
It's the same gospel from 4 different perspectives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's different ones highlight different things, different miracles that Jesus did. And I just thought that was so, because if you had 4 of the exact same, you would think, oh, they just got together and they copied it. Like that would be a lot more, it would raise a lot more red flags, at least for me.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see 4 unique stories of Jesus. And I just thought how like it's not a big scheme of like, oh, we'll make this religion. It's not a scheme. And I thought that was like, so we know that this Bible wasn't just made up because of all the copies, so like over 2,000 years ago of the Gospels. And then we say, then we know all the different accounts, and there's other accounts not of the Word of God that archaeologically also confirm it. So I'm just trying to build a case of, you know what, the Bible wasn't just made up, and it wasn't just made up to be a worldwide religion just so people can make money. There's something to this.
Right.
And now that's really nitpicky, but I really want to land on this point. Go in the Bible and read the Gospels. Is there anything in the Gospels when Jesus says to do something, is there anything that does not promote having a good life? Like everything he says is
Fruitful.
Is for us. And I thought that was really interesting. Just like
For our eternal benefit.
for our eternal, but even earthly
Yeah,
benefit.
it could be eternal or physical, even general. Like you think about gluttony, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's a kind of an example. Is like generally it's like don't be fat, you'll do a little better kind of thing. Generally speaking.
Yeah, well, because
The idea of reaping and sowing. That's kind of what a lot of what Jesus's talks kind of were grounded on.
I was really
How
loud.
subtle.
Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to be
was that
subtle.
You've been saved by grace through faith, not of works. Now, whatever you reap correct me if I'm wrong here, but whatever you reap in me, basically for me, you will also sow that, whether it's here on earth or in heaven. But it doesn't guarantee good things. It doesn't guarantee easy things. Let's put it that way.
So you're saying like following what he says, it guarantees good fruit, but it doesn't guarantee ease. Is that what you're saying?
Guarantee is not the same thing as ease, because
Okay,
Jesus
I gotcha.
promised that, I'm paraphrasing the verse, but
There you will have struggles on this earth.
yeah, like the people who hated me will hate you.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's
But
yeah,
don't worry, I've overcome the world.
there we go. Yeah, that's the verse.
Like the guy behind me at the store is usually the one that hates me. So
Because you pay with a check.
I use coupons.
Oh.
I'm a couponer. And I pull out. I'll do the exact change as well. What is that? 72 cents. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, and then the guy's like cursing me out behind me and everything.
We've got old Granny with us today.
And no, that's none of that is true actually. But I just felt like yeah. All right, continue.
No,
No, yeah. So
I did like you brought up gluttony. I actually had this thought recently, like, why did people don't talk about gluttony very much?
Me too.
You've been thinking about this?
Yeah, man.
Why do you think Jesus says
Because a lot of
don't
pastors
be a
are fat.
glutton?
Oh,
Wow, just
Okay.
calling them out. And Sam's
Sorry.
talking too.
yeah.
Hey, I'm
yeah.
fat. I'm a glutton. That's a big issue of mine. I'm not willing to shy away from that.
Yeah, you're a glutton. I'm allergic to gluten. I mean, we all have our.
Wow.
That one's actually true. The gluten, it's a sensitivity. Actually, I'm not allergic. I'm sensitive to it.
Are
like
you
a millennial.
vegan too?
No, but I'm vegan by choice.
Okay.
Because it's a lifestyle, baby.
Let me find the verse where God told Peter, "Arise, kill and eat."
No, so why do you think we're talking about gluttony? I'm curious what you do. You have any thoughts on why Jesus said don't be a glutton?
Where did he say don't be a glutton? I mean, I know he preached against that, but
yeah,
there's one.
I think he doesn't. He goes
the
through
seven
a
deadly
lot of
sins.
stuff on the Sermon on the Mount.
yeah. I think that it is interspersed in there. I don't know exactly.
Listen, we could be a little off, but at least I know.
Generally speaking, yeah. No, I think it's why. I'm not gonna pretend like I know what the big man upstairs was thinking.
Well, I do, so I'm wondering if you have any thought.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I
I'm
know.
gonna do this. Watch this. Ready? I don't know. Let me think about that. Joe, what do you think about that?
Because he knew that COVID was coming.
But wow, so sorry. I should have just done that. You should have told me to do it in the first place. That was hilarious.
Thank you.
Well done.
Because we all know that all the fat people die.
All right, now this is going to be medical misinformation, and we're going to get.
We're gonna flagged on YouTube. Dr. Fauci's gonna make another documentary about us.
The white boys are struck again.
Oh,
Did you see that, by the way? There's a documentary about Fauci on Disney Plus.
I did not see that.
I watched 20 minutes of it, and I was dying laughing. It was like the description of it was like the extraordinary life of Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Wow.
I
Dude,
heard
that
about it.
sounds-
I didn't watch
Sounds
it.
inspiring
It really was. I mean, I teared up. Yeah.
because I've always wanted to be Geppetto.
Or wrong on every single issue.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got political. This is
Yeah. We don't pick sides.
yeah. No.
I do.
All right.
Pick me up. I dare you.
Anyways, we were talking about gluttony there.
Yeah,
So
I-
you made the joke that was a killer joke.
Thank you.
Brought the house down. But in all seriousness, do you have an actual answer? Because
I think
don't-
I do.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not
take-
saying it's exact. Like I don't know.
I expect it to be wrong, but continue.
But I think what I've come up with is Jesus tells us to do. It gives us commandments for our benefit and His glory. But there is a aspect of it's for us, and there are so many medically. If you're overweight, it gives you like it just weakens your body to fight any other disease. And so I think he's just like, listen, don't be eating so much where you become obese. And there's a value in taking care of the temple that he's given you.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is you think about like obviously gluttony is a bad thing, but I think the other big thing that we often, or I feel like I forget about, is idolization of things. That's in the 10 Commandments. It's don't make idols for yourself. And for us nowadays, we're probably not going to be bowing to a golden cow that we melted and created. Generally,
I mean, it'll be of Anthony Fauci, but probably not a cow.
yeah, a golden Anthony Fauci. Yeah,
The George Floyd mural.
yeah. I mean, for us, it's going to be more like things. So, for instance, food obviously is one of the greatest things ever. I think we can all agree about that.
Especially in America.
Especially when Mama cooks it. You know what I mean?
Ooh, good.
So good.
Yeah.
Like how
So,
Mama made it.
I mean, genuinely. So, delicious, right? But we can obviously go overboard. And so the idea is when you go overboard on something, when that's all, even if you're not necessarily thinking about it all the time, but maybe you're eating all the time, I still think that counts as kind of you're idolizing it, you're putting it over what should, over spiritual or God or wherever that lands. But I think that's the other side of the coin that I think is important to think about.
I like that.
Because I found for me that's definitely a big thing. It's just like because it's like I'm a big snacker. I'm not a big meals guy generally, but I love to snack.
Okay.
Which is tough. So I have my cross to bear. What can I say?
I just eat way too much.
And another way of thinking of I believe, second commandment, or don't have any other gods before me, or don't idolize anything else before me. It's just anything that we put over God in our life.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say, but I kind of mumbled through it. So you said it better. I feel like so.
We're trying to set a foundation of believing the Bible, and the idea of it is the truth, it is the objective truth, and one thing about objective truth is that it is timeless. It has been for all time.
Yeah.
Like that's that idea of objective. Like it's truth that we can't touch. It has nothing to do with us. And that reminded me of the first part of John, where it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God." So he, as in Jesus,
Yep.
he was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was nothing, and without him was not anything that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So basically, the darkness, in my opinion, I interpret that as subjective truth, and the light is objective truth. And that's kind of been the conflict. That's just the human condition. We want to make our own truth. We want to be our own God.
Yeah.
And we want to we reject God. There is no ignorant sin. There's no such thing as ignorant sin. God has placed in our hearts the knowledge of himself, whether someone tells us about it or not. And if we choose it, then we are following his objective truth. But when we don't, and when we reject it, then we create our own truth and we make ourselves a God. And that is the human condition.
It's dangerous, but it's so easy to do.
It is so and every time we sin, it's us trying, it's an act of us believing that we are somehow smarter than God. Just bring it back to the first sin ever. Satan was like, you will not surely die. So basically the reason I brought up the verse was because it said that, it was in the beginning. So the truth was in the beginning because Jesus is the truth. He was in the beginning. Before everything was created, he created everything. And that's kind of a way to think about how we have to submit to his truth or the truth,
Yeah. I like the thought that you were talking about, like subjective versus objective.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so easy for us to try to be our own God and think that we have our own subjective truth. I think even just as Christians, I think you still struggle with that. Be like, no, I know what's going on here, especially in America when we don't have to worry about where our next meal comes from. We actually have to.
Unless you're buying it from Wendy's, am I right?
Well, I mean, you might know where it's coming from, but you might not know where it puts you, like the hospital, the bathroom for a few hours,
or where or how it was made. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know. Some of those places.
We are not getting a sponsorship from Wendy's.
Yeah. What can I say? Redheads.
This is actually my favorite verse in the entire Bible. It's Romans 1:20.
This puts a lot of pressure.
That's true.
My favorite verse. Okay.
I mean, how many verses are in the Bible?
That's true. It's,
Millions.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
I don't know. The idea of that some Christians, like the tribes and jungles or whatever that who've never heard the name of Jesus that can't be accessed by missionaries, and they'll say, how could God send them to hell when they didn't know about Jesus? No one ever taught them. Well, this verse here, Romans 1:20, it says, "For his invisible attributes," meaning for God's invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world, so that they are without excuse, so that people are without excuse. So people observing through nature is how there is a God. And right there, everyone knows that God exists. What missionaries do is they bring the gospel and they reinforce it. And there are some who need people to talk into their lives, but God provides a way for everyone to hear about God. Everyone has an opportunity. Yeah, so I just thought that was something that, because it is a controversy in the church, that that idea of ignorant sin, I think it was good to reinforce that with a Bible verse. So
I like it. I mean, listen, we're talking about some more headier stuff here. I just would like to say, why are we so stupid? Just like Zach, why are you so stupid?
Well,
No.
Joe. I was going to give a genuine answer.
Okay.
I was smashed in the face with a board when I was young by you. So, true story. 2x4,
okay.
actually. So
I
that's
don't remember
why.
the story, so you have to retell this now.
No, I don't. We'll save that for another time.
Okay.
Well, just a little cliffhanger. Because we don't have time for that. I mean, that's a long
excited.
story. Yeah. Get excited. I mean, it's like violent.
So you're blaming me for your.
That's why his face looks like a whoopee
No,
cushion.
it's not. It's not your fault. It's mom's.
I was trying to say, okay, guys, we know that God just tells us to do this stuff. It's not complicated. What he tells us to do is love him, love God. That was the same thing. That wasn't two separate things. Love God and love others. That's it. It all boils down to that. And why don't we, like, I feel like we make it so complicated. We make excuses and we don't follow. Don't you find yourself like, oh, you idiot, why didn't you, like, I could have been like loving to my neighbor in that aspect. Like I could have, that lady just dropped a whole bunch of books coming out of the library. I could have easily picked that up for her, but I'm too selfish, or like I didn't want to stop my day. Like,
You're horrible.
I know.
Well, the problem-
but see, the problem is I knocked her over and I made her spill the
It was
books.
a hit and run.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna go back and help her.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
logical. I mean, yeah, you don't cause the crime and then fix the crime.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
those are
I
two
just
separate
I
jobs.
needed some mayhem.
That's
happening.
right. Yeah. So Sam, what do you think about this question?
Okay, why are we stupid? My answer is a Bible verse in my favorite chapter, Romans 1. Okay, I told Joe before the podcast that I was going to address Romans 1 a lot because it applies to everything when you're talking about the human condition and sin and humanism and just people being stupid. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie and worshipped and served the creature rather than the creator who is blessed forever. Amen. That is Romans 1:24. Now, there's further context to that, but that's kind of an answer to your question. Why are people stupid? Because they exchanged God for something that he created. They tried to skip the God part and skip the hard part about following God and just get his blessings, basically, or misuse the things that he gave to us. And, you could apply that to everything. You could apply that to sexual immorality. God gave us the gift of sex, and when we reject God, he's married, guys. It's okay. He's married.
Well, I'm just saying that the pull of
Is that
beautiful women.
Yeah.
Not
What?
Not women. I'm just
I'm gonna
saying.
stop talking.
I'm just saying that that God.
There's an
Is-
invisible rope.
You better stop talking, Joe.
What I'm saying
anyways,
if you
it
want to
is
sleep
beauty.
in the same bed tonight.
Anyways, just like, sex, God gave us that for a gift, but in the confines of marriage between one man and one woman.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just an example. Even culturally, the way we step out of bounds when it comes to worship and serve philosophy or the ideas or thinking and deep thought, like, all the Plato and Aristotle and whatever their views are. But the idea when you worship what God created, which is, philosophy or science even. You worship science and you make science the God.
Or
that's
even-
when the issue happens. You
Yeah.
put the emphasis on nature. You put the emphasis on what God created rather than the creator himself.
You could even take it a step further and say, even theology.
Oh,
You could
100%.
You could make theology 100%.
100%. Yeah.
And that's where it gets like no, it's about God. Well, no, but you're missing the point. It's not the point.
It's about the relationship
Exactly.
versus the
Exactly.
facts.
One of my heroes, a man named Dietrich Bonhoeffer, won't go into the story, but he was basically a political activist in the time of Hitler, a German political activist, and he was in an active conspiracy to kill Hitler.
Can
And
you
he
say
said-
this whole thing in German accent, please, just to make the story better?
No. I'm sorry. I just have to get this out before I forget this. Sorry.
I tried.
I try to make it funny, but I won't. And basically, he was a theologian for much of his life, but he said later that he didn't become a Christian until he started actively, trying to kill Hitler. Like, seriously, until he dove into the conspiracy and actually, it became a relationship, because it was all heady, it was all knowledge. He believed it was true, but he wasn't a true Christian. He didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus. He didn't fall in love with Jesus until he started living fully in the world's problems and complexities and issues,
Because he
then
had to
he had
rely.
to fully rely on Jesus. And that's why there are issues in seminaries, and just the American church in general, we're so comfortable. We don't have, I would submit to you, the vast majority of the American church doesn't truly have a personal relationship with Jesus, because we like religion for the comforts it has. If those people were if those people were, went to churches in Iraq where people are getting murdered, or Afghanistan, like right now, it's with underground churches, I guarantee you there is 100% ton of persecution going on, and that's so sad among the Christian church. But those people are true believers because
they're willing to risk.
they're willing to die for it. Do you think these Joel Osteen and these big big
well,
name
we don't need
pastors.
to start. We don't need to start like dropping names.
I
but,
did. He's a heretic, but I can drop his name. But
We've got a prophet over here.
these
Just
kind of complacent
put it on blast.
American churchgoers who are just going for the comfort and because they have a good worship and their pastor wears skinny jeans and that sort of thing, the modernization of the church, and prosperity gospel, that sort of thing. When there's an emphasis on that, we lose the reliance on Jesus, which is what the personal relationship with Jesus actually is.
So you're basically saying, just to sum up everything you said, which was well said. I could have done better, but that's okay. Generally, but it's like basically you're saying that all you have to do to be a Christian is just try to kill Hitler. Is what you're saying?
See, I was somewhat thinking that.
Okay.
It's
So
like that's
that
how you
was an
grow close
example.
to God.
I should clarify. That was an example of I'm sorry, not Hitler. Dietrich Bonhoeffer living in the world and the world's problems and complexities. Because when his life was at risk, because this man, he died, he was executed 7 days before World War II ended, and he relied fully on Christ. He died for Christ.
That's what it came down to. Is he had to put his full faith and trust into Christ.
Yeah.
Because of the situation, obviously, the horrible situation, and it wasn't.
Right, is faith. Yeah, that's the key.
It's about faith.
That makes sense. That's very, very well said, Sam. You don't look like it, but you're a smart guy. So well done.
Look,
The man bun.
I just like talking. Okay.
That's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of hit that what we believe, but also not making it hopefully this didn't come across super complicated. Because it really isn't. It literally is. Listen, 50% of you out there believe that there's a God. You know what? Believe in that God, surrender to that God, and that God is
Jesus
Christ.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
through
Yep.
through
the
Jesus.
only way.
Yeah.
And then just live your life as a thank you to him. And what he commands you to do is just love God and love others. And that's it. And you don't need to overcomplicate it. And I think that's what we do. We grew up in church. I think we have a tendency to overcomplicate it.
Right.
And I really want us to be able to simplify it. We need the word to be able to, whatever we're going to talk about in the podcast, well, you know what? We have authority to talk on those subjects from the basis of this word, because we know this word is true. So I thought it'd be interesting, unless you guys have any more points, I just want to close it out with like a quick verse.
Take it away.
Any other points?
I have something I want to say.
Never
Okay,
mind.
one
We got
okay.
Chatty
One last
McGee
thing.
over here.
When we're talking about, there are so many things about objective. One more, I promise.
Yeah,
just
we'll
one more
probably
scripture verse.
we could
Okay.
talk. There's a lot more things we can talk about.
But when it comes to the fact of, when we say loving God and loving others, when it comes to loving others, that can get conflated with, allowing them almost to being completely tolerant. You do you, I love you, I support you. That idea of just, what's the word? I mean, basically weak Christianity, weak truth.
Well, but you're
letting
not,
people have their own truth. You do you, man, but I know what I believe.
it's not true love though,
You're
because
right.
it's not the best for that person. True love is pointing out and helping that person through the situation in the best way possible, and just agreeing to their craziness is not helpful
Yes.
at points.
It's harmful. It affirms them in their insanity.
Yeah.
When I say insane, I just,
It depends what we're
it depends what we're talking about. Yeah.
But
If we're,
yeah.
I'm just kind of assuming it's from, biblical teaching to not biblical teaching. So that's kind of the context I was thinking of that in. But the part of this was Matthew 10, 34 through 39. This was Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. So this is the words of Jesus.
Okay.
The name of this little segment is called "Not Peace But a Sword," and I think this is really important. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to earth. I have not come to bring peace but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son and daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And here's a key point. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will find it.
you started with that verse. I was like, ooh, we get it into a whole nother topic.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, because
No,
it's
that's
the
good
idea of
stuff.
Jesus, the objective truth came to earth to, I know it sounds bad, but to divide people, to divide the light from the darkness.
Because objective truth will divide.
Of course, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's and I have to say what a blessing that in our family right here, we don't have to be divided on this truth. We can be agreeing and having conversation and working together with each other, struggling through life, which I personally find very much of a blessing. I mean, we don't know if Zach's really a Christian. He didn't really answer that question, so I think he kind of skipped through.
I did. Come on now. White Mountains.
I do have to say, Sam was hitting something. I wonder if next episode we talk about the men, like
Weak men.
because I think we could put some blast.
I don't like that you're looking at me. This is
weak men.
It's gonna be my face. Just weak man. For the thumbnail.
Pointed to him.
Yeah.
To wrap up, I just want to read from Romans 12:9. Let love be genuine. Abhor what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. It's simple. Just do that.
Simple, easy, awesome.
And I would like
hate the darkness.
Xfinity.
And I would like as I end
Xfinity
that verse.
X5. Simple, easy.
As I end that last verse, just like have my voice echo because I'm so angelic.
That's too much work.
Okay,
Can we just end it
Sounds
like
good.
right here?
Right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
What?
All I know is that I agree with you 100%. There is truth and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help you God.
So help you
So help
God.
you God.
All right.